Are you feeling presentation challenged? Are you scared, nervous, or anxious in front of a group? Learn how to present magically. The Empowerment Partnership offers the Presenting Magically seminar in Seattle, May 16th through the 18th. Gain rapport with groups of any size. Manage the energy around you. Increase your charisma and magnetism. Call for your $95 spring special at 800-800-MIND. Visit NLP.com. The Presenting Magically seminar from the Empowerment Partnership at NLP.com.
A smooth journey, a creamy encounter. A spoonful of Greek God's Greek yogurt and Pagoto ice crema takes you through an experience of mythical intensity. Greek God's Greek yogurt is so natural, creamy and smooth with 5 live and active cultures, including probiotics. Greek God's Pagoto ice crema, a gourmet ice cream similar to the ice cream you'll find in Greece. Find your own Greek Gods at your local grocery store. Visit the Greek Gods at GreekGodsYogurt.com and experience the myth.
Are you suffering from chronic pain and fatigue? Are you tired of taking medications? There are solutions that are completely natural and effective. The key is to identify the root of the problem and allow your body, mind, and spirit to do the healing. At Holistic Medical Center, Dr. Darvish and her staff do just that. Treat you as an individual, find the root cause of your symptoms, and stimulate your innate healing. Call Holistic Medical Center at 425-451-0404 or visit drdarvish.com. That's drdarvish.com.
For years, I was searching for a church that spoke about God in ways that made sense to me, in ways that recognized my struggles in life and then helped me find solutions. I found that church. It's the Center for Spiritual Living, a wonderful community that is helping me build a better life and a better world. Each Sunday, Reverend Dr. Kathy Ann Lewis inspires me to create a world that works not only for me, but for everyone.
Honoring all paths to God, the Center for Spiritual Living is located just east of University Village on Sandpoint Way with 3 Sunday services. Visit online at spiritualliving.org.
Are you ready to be inspired? Enjoy an evening with best-selling author, trainer, and inspirational speaker, Iyanla Vanzant, for her talk entitled The Way We Love. Join us on May 20th at Benaroya Hall in Seattle. Iyanla teaches that one cannot evolve politically, socially, or economically until one evolves spiritually. She conveys this message with love, humor, and humility. Her frank, down-to-earth manner will make you laugh and inspire you as she shares her wisdom, compassion, and enthusiasm for life. Enjoy pre-event music and song by the Total Experience Gospel Choir and the Choir of Light. The Dr. Pat Show is proud to be a sponsor of the 5 Extraordinary People 2008 lecture series. Visit thedrpatshow.com for more information. Don't miss Iyanla Vanzant on May 20th at Benaroya Hall. Visit thedrpatshow.com. That's THEDR patshow.com.
Spread the word. You don't have to settle for the usual talk radio. Now there's Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m.
Rhythm of the boogie to beat. Now what you hear is not a test. I'm rapping to the beat. And me, the groove, and my friends are gonna try to move your feet. You see, I am one.
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show, talk radio to thrive by. You know, the other day, and many of you had heard us play Gary Bros's a clip, and you know, every once in a while Benny and I will drop it in, but the clip was one of the most responded to clips I think we've ever had. As a matter of fact, it went out in the newsletter, and I think the clip actually is going viral. We need to edit the clip to make sure that it has Gary's name in it and a few other things.
Viral is it's a good clip.
It's a good clip.
Not viral as if you download it, it's going to mess with your computer.
No,
not like that.
No, in a good way, which means it's getting passed around. But we need to put, you know, Gary, I think he says it at the end, I'm Gary Bros and we need to just get his website in there. But, you know, part of what Gary talks about, and I cannot listen to the clip without crying, but what he talks about is how we move through and we persevere. Chris Stanis is joining me here today. Not only does she know what it's like to be a small business owner, but what it's like to have the vision that she has to run some of the most successful women of of Wisdom conferences on the planet, and now be the author of Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women. And so Chris is joining us here today because we're not only going to talk about the book, but there are these continuing events and workshops that she has planned. And so from the very heart of who we are at taking our message out in the world, we share this with you. Chris, welcome and congratulations on the book that I've heard you talk about like for years now.
Years, thanks. It's great to be here.
Let's take a minute to introduce our listeners. Some of them may not know about the Women of Wisdom. They may not know about it. And I think it's important for you to set the background about how the book developed, because the book is a culmination of all the incredible women that you've had the opportunity to be in front of.
Yes, and it's exciting for me to have this book because it's a true reflection of what Woman of Wisdom is. There are 60 contributors in the book, and with many voices from well-known speakers, national authors, to local women. And how it all started was a vision to bring some of these speakers that are in the book. I read the book, Feminine Face of God, and I just thought, I want to see these people here in Seattle. And part of it was just for women to be mentored, to hear from women leaders, and to feel empowered by their voices. And so that's where the vision came, and I brought a committee together, and we started planning the first conference, and the first conference was in 1993. So we're now into our 16th year, and it's grown and developed over the years. The first year had 24 events, and its peak, I think, in 1998, we had 90 events all week long. We've gotten a little more reasonable in our time frame, and it's like a 3.5-day workshop conference with many workshops. It's very experiential, so the whole thing is experiential. So I wanted the book to reflect that. So in the book, I not only put some of the talks that people presented at Woman of Wisdom, but art and poetry and some of the songs as poetry and stories from people who've been involved in creating Women of Wisdom, whether it was they were the music director or the ceremonial director, and stories from women who've been empowered by just being a part of being there, whether they were on the committee or they went to workshops. So, and my story and how it grew and all.
Exactly. And I want to talk about the book for a minute because, when Chris talked about the book and that she was going to put the book together, I should have known that what we were going to get was, from a content point of view, we were going to get some of the most significant conversations we've had with women on the leading edge on this planet. What I didn't expect that we would get is this beautiful book that is so filled with pictures, poetry. I mean, it is... For me, all books should be done like this, and certainly the inspiration for the book that we're writing that's going to feature the interviews. But mostly, what I love about this is how you share the personal stories of the people, but also how you integrate their message. How did this come to you?
Well, I had a great designer, but it's what I always wanted when I started. I planned this for years. I had the idea 9 years ago, and it first just came from, we had all these tapes of the talks, and I thought these would make a great book. There's such beautiful messages in here. And then it was really 4 years ago that I realized I'm ready to start writing. And it was 2 years ago that I started writing, and this last year particularly. So we launched it, and I had a deadline to launch it at this year's conference, so it's what the book is done now. But as I started planning it, when I started making an outline, it was just like, no, it's got to include art and poetry and stories, because that's the heart of Woman of Wisdom. The meat is these wonderful talks from people like Jean Shinoda Boland, Jean Houston, Angela's Arian. That was the meat. But the heart of it is all these women's voices, many local people who... we had one woman who, her very first show, she's an artist, and her very first market show was Woman of Wisdom, probably in 1995, 96. Wow. She is now in airports, in fairs all over, and she is now having commissioned art. I believe she's just finished a piece for the Westin Hotel. I could be wrong in the hotel name, for a museum in the Midwest. I mean, just amazing growth. And it all started by her being validated as an artist at our market.
Well, our theme this year is Get Out of the Gate in 2008. And, that's the theme that we could have every year. But it is exactly what you're talking about. So it's no surprise, Chris, that you're here with the book. Because what's happening, and I had Carrie O'Connor on this morning on Voice America. For those of you that didn't hear it, that would be a great show for you to listen to the archive. But what we talked about is whatever you want to call the energy, what's happening is that people are now taking their dreams and it becomes manifested in the material world.
Yeah, I so believe that. And one of the calls for the book, too, is for women to be leaders and to manifest their dreams. And that's what I'm going to be working on in the workshop. There's a free workshop at East West Bookshop, May 14th, 7 o'clock at East West at, Roosevelt 65th. And it's called Feminine Wisdom, but it's about claiming your gifts and owning them. And we have these innate, we've discarded or discounted our values. The values that women have been so second place. And I think now what we're coming to is women are really stepping up to the front. And I really feel like this is the year of the woman.
Well, it's interesting you said that because I shared with our listeners what it was like to be sitting there at Quest Field and I've with the Dalai Lama, and I understand that is the largest non-sporting event that we've ever had. And when he came, he talked about what it means to have women in power and why that's so essential and important for us now and for leaders all over the world. When you wrote this book, and I know this has been a dream of yours, how did you decide what you would talk about in terms of the people you featured? And I want to give our listeners a sense of some of the people that are featured in the book because I think this is important. But there are so many things that I think you could have selected and chosen. So I'm very interested in hearing how you went about this. And then I'm going to share some of the folks that are featured in the book. But Angeles Arrien, for example, Dr. Angeles Arrien, one of the most powerful personal experiences I ever had was working with her one-on-one. Never forget it.
Yeah, and she has that impact on many people. I think I have, and there'll be a second book because I have so many talks I couldn't include, but I looked through all my tapes, and the names that stuck out were the ones that are in my memory at like peak experiences at Women of Wisdom. And there's still others that didn't get in the book just because I could only have so many. But like Angeles Arrien and Jean Houston and Jean Shinoda Boland, just people. And they also they came with their hearts to Women of Wisdom. And that's why some of the people that are in the book is like, they gave so much to us when they were here that they stand out in my heart and in my mind and that their message for not only women, for men too, were so important and I wanted a diversity of well-rounded and there's a couple of people that didn't get in the book because timing-wise we didn't get, I had to go back and forth with them of approving their the talks and all, and so there'll be a couple more that'll be in the next book. But they just had powerful messages, and there's a variety. And the nice thing about the book is you can hear it in so many different ways because every person's voice has a different slant on it. Yes. And so you might not like one chapter, but you love the next chapter.
That's what I love about the book, because what you've been able to preserve is the personality and the character of each of the people you feature. And I just want to give you a couple of ideas here of what Chris has put in the book, and just so you get a sense of it. Let's share with our listeners beyond Dr. Angeles Arrien, of course, Judith Orloff. And, there are many others. Let's talk about some of these people. Out of all the people here, how the heck did you even know what to talk with Riane Eisler about?
Well, these are actually tapes from the talks that they presented at Women of Wisdom.
Yeah, so that was the basis of it.
Yeah, that was the basis.
So when we look at what you're doing in this book, but beyond that, the event that you're having at the upcoming free event, I want to say, is what I'm trying to say. It's a free event at East West. You're going to be talking about women in leadership. I'm going to ask you this question, and it's going to sound like a political question, but it's truly not. What do you think that we have to do in this country to be able to embrace women in leadership. Let's take a break. When we come back, Chris Stanis is joining us here today. She is the author of this incredible Women of Wisdom book, Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women. She's also doing a workshop at East West, and so I want to make sure everybody knows that. And the question is leadership, women in leadership. Is the Dalai Lama right? We'll be right back.
Mama, let me be. Don't come hanging round my door. I don't want to see your face no more. I got more important things to do.
Do you have questions about a job, finances, or relationships? Astrologer Madeline Gerwick is offering special 30-minute personal consultations about love, money, or career for just $85. Visit PolarisBusinessGuides.com or call Madeline at 877-524-8300 to schedule. Go to PolarisBusinessGuides.com. That's P-O-L-A-R-I-S businessguides.com. So stop wondering and start asking.
Are you one of the millions of frustrated people who can't take off weight or keep it off on a low-fat or low-calorie diet? It's hard, isn't it? Well, don't despair another day. The Sugar-Free Miracle Diet is the answer to your prayers. I'm Karen Bentley, and I lost 130 pounds on this program. I'm also the founder and CEO of the Sugar-Free Miracle Diet Company. Go to sugarfreemiracle.com. That's sugarfreemiracle.com and get started today.
From a place of special energy, the Sedona tools are specially crafted to work with the disruptive emotional energies of traumatic experience. You can release and resolve the past, move gracefully through the present, and attract the future you wish with power that's already yours. Your intent and creative visualization. Now work with the right tools. Visit thesedonatools.com.
Would you like to receive a weekly email telling you about personal growth events and resources in the Puget Sound region? This service is now available compliments of New Spirit Journal, the locally owned and operated newspaper that brings you a wealth of inspirational information every month. Go to newspiritjournal.com and click on Earl. That's events and resource listings, but you can call it Earl. New Spirit Journal has been providing inspirational news and information for almost 3 years. Visit newspiritjournal.com.
Hi, this is Glenn Brooks from the Vibrant Living Radio Network. From terminal normalities to abundant realities, how do we craft and design more abundance in our lives? And how do we allow for more possibilities? Join me and my international team of contributors. Please join me in this exploration and become part of the Vibrant Living family, Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., right here on Seattle's Alternative Talk, AM 1150, KKNW. Your life's precious, enjoy it. Find the tools and resources and discover a new way of accessing those.
Tune in your radio to hear Carrie O'Connor, master visionary, medium, and clairvoyant, as she uses her amazing psychic gifts to help you step into your divine power and begin to create the life of your dreams. Carrie will read your unique energy field, connecting you with the treasures of your soul, your passions, and your true life purpose. Don't miss Carrie's weekly astounding and energetic predictions. Fasten your seatbelt as you take a wild ride with Carrie O'Connor. Mondays at 11 a.m. Pacific. Listen live at thedrpatshow.com.
Write it down, shout it loud. Alternative Talk, 1150 a.m. Now, wasn't that fun?
Welcome back, everyone. Welcome back to the Dr. Pat Show. Chris Stanis joining us here today. Women of Wisdom has been something that she has nurtured. It has grown. And here we are now with the first of, I believe, what will be a series of books talking about empowering the dreams and spirit of women. Before the break, I asked her a question about women in leadership and what would it take for our society to so embrace this and make the changes. And, you know, that's a question that's important for me to hear her answer, and it is put in the context of the upcoming free workshop she's doing at East West. What was the date of that?
May 14th.
May 14th. And before we get started with her answer, we're giving away copies of this book, Women of Wisdom, Empowering the Dreams and Spirit of Women. Very easy. Just call the toll-free number, 1-800-930-2819, 1-800-930-2819, toll-free. Benny will pick as many calls as we have phone lines that light up, and we will give you copies of the book. Nope, you don't have to come on the air for this one. You don't have to ask a question, but if you have a question or comment, just give it to Mr. B. Toll-free number 1-800-930-2819 to receive a copy of Women of Wisdom, this incredible book. Okay, Chris, I got that question for you.
You do. And it's a great question. I love it that our state, I went to a meeting with women leaders at the governor's mansion when she first was elected. And she pointed out how we're the first state ever to have a woman governor and 2 women senators. And I think that's quite amazing. And
all that combination.
Yeah, the combination.
Because New Jersey had Christy Whitman.
Right. No, the combination.
Right.
Governor and 2 women senators. So I want to applaud our state for that. I think the most important thing is we support each other. We support other women, and we don't. I think some people grew up. I remember reading about, like, in the 50s, we were sort of taught to be competitive with each other. And I think that's what needs to drop, that we need to support and validate. I think one of the best ways, which is one of the things that Women of Wisdom promotes, and I'll be working on a little bit on the workshop, is women circles. Get into a circle and support each other. When you start hearing other people's dreams, you realize they're different than yours. They're not going to take away your dream, and that there's room for all of us. And women's voice is so important for women's voice to get out there. So whatever you are interested in, get involved and don't just go to things. Join the committee, join the team, join the organization, and get involved so that your voice gets heard. And the more women that get in leadership roles, the more women are trained as leaders. And then, there's more room for women leaders in organizations, corporations, government, wherever. But women need to train themselves in those roles. And we tend to sit back and let others do it because, well, one, we're the caretakers. We have children to take care of, houses to take care of, people to feed, and we don't always take care of ourselves. And then we sit back. I think we have a generation of the baby boomers who are now going, I think you call it the third phase of your life. What are you going to do now? And now is the time to dream and really do what you always wanted to do, that it sat on the back burner because you had other people to take care of. So I think it's now to take care of yourself and do what you want to do.
Well, and what you're saying is something that we've not experienced in generations before quite like this. And what I mean by that is, except for the Kentucky Colonel, who kind of kicked it up at, 65 and was down and out, and I think he didn't even have a Social Security check. He started a dream. Right now, more so than ever, we have a population of people that are not just willing to go into the night and retire.
Exactly. And we can't even afford to, so we know we need to be doing things. And we're going to be living longer. And healthier, so we'll be able to be doing things. I think that the baby boomer, it's going to be incredible what people are going to be doing now. And more women start their own businesses because they're not necessarily satisfied in the corporate world. So there's more women are entrepreneurs than men. Mm-hmm. And, I just think it speaks to the women are beginning to really step out, But I still see people being reticent to really step out and have their voices be heard. We're trained so much as, when we're little that our voices aren't valued. So I really think that we need to be supporting the younger generation at a young age, really acknowledging girls' voices.
Yeah. And I want to address that issue because when you look at the book, it says Women of Wisdom. It implies, if you come from old school, that you have to be in your 70s. And I have to tell you that I think we are shifting. We are creating a paradigm shift because when we look at Women of Wisdom, it is irrespective of age. And I wanted to ask you about that because I interview women every week. And what I'm noticing is just this vast range. He interviewed the former Miss America, Miss America. And so, this is a much different topic than we've ever had about this stereotype of wise women being older.
Yeah, that's true. And I was talking to my niece who's very young, and she's saying there's no word for you're a girl, and they think of, she's in her late 20s. They think of women being older. You don't reach that woman until you're at least 30, let alone the older woman. And there's not a word for them. And really, what Woman of Wisdom is about is any age. At all ages we have wisdom, and to honor that at whatever age you're at. And it really is meant to be inclusive. And it's our language that and our society that tells us, oh, women are you're older. You're not a woman until you're whatever age, or you're not. That wise woman is someone who's a crone who's in their 60s when you get wise. Well, there's wisdom in every age.
What are the characteristics of a woman and of a wise woman? And I wanted to ask you about that. What are the characteristics? Meaning, when we say, wow, that is a woman of wisdom, What is it that, I know emotionally you get it, but I'm curious to know what those characteristics are, because at the same time, we're looking at women in leadership, and I would imagine that the characteristics are pretty similar, things that we look for. I know I put you on the spot.
You did, but, that's fine. I love it. I love this interview with you. I think, because I can think of teenagers who have said the most wisest things, and I think it's when they speak from their heart, from their knowingness. They aren't trying to please anyone. They're just speaking their truth. They're speaking the truth and without being afraid of it, and they don't censor themselves. They're really speaking what they believe, and that can come from any age. And knowing that it comes from that perspective of that age actually adds wisdom too.
What I'm struck by, and I'm glad you said that, is, there are a lot of people that are doing, a lot of women and men, but we're talking about women today, that are taking global initiatives and making things happen. However, what we seem to be focusing on in the pop culture are women in their 20s and 30s that are celebrity types. Are you struck, or are you sort of, what do I want to say? Are you surprised that there are as many women right now, young women, in the pop culture that have stepped out for all sorts of global initiatives? Or is that just a natural evolution of what you've already known?
I think it's natural. I think you're seeing it. We're seeing it in the celebrities, but I think I have that sense of that of just, women here in Seattle who want to do things to change the world. And so they're just reflecting what's going on elsewhere.
Yeah, and that's really an important point, because we think that because a celebrity does it, they're taking the lead. Actually, I think what they've done is picked up on something that we've started at the grassroots level.
I think that's true.
What do you wish for the book and for, your ongoing work in this area? It's been wonderful, Chris, to talk with you. Let's give out the website. Let people know how to get a copy of the book. And, what is your wish, desire, and message for everyone today?
Well, first I'll give the website so I don't forget. It's womanofwisdom.org, and you can order the book online on our website, and also it's available at Amazon.com, and it's available at East West Bookshop. My wish is that this book touches women to really to reach out to other women. I think there's a lot of isolated women. The excitement about the book is this can reach women who aren't in a city that has events like this, that they can see, oh, there's other women like me that feel this way, and that they get empowered, and that they create their women's circle, that they start dreaming what's their calling, what they want to get involved in. And I just want to empower women. And I just think it has far-reaching. I'm very excited about the book. And just to share this wisdom of all these women, whether it's a local woman who's an artist, or just a normal person like you and me, or who's a famous, well-known author, it doesn't matter. There's so many different voices. So I'm just excited to put this out to the world. It's just really exciting. And it's being received very well. So I'm thrilled.
Well, I know the phones were off the hook. Benny, thank you so much for getting our listeners and connecting and getting a copy of the book. Now, upcoming event, how can they find out more about it?
Well, it's on the East West Bookshop website. It's also on the Woman of Wisdom. Well, I'm not sure if it's on the Woman of Wisdom website right now, but they can email Woman of Wisdom, and I can send them information. Just wow@womanofwisdom.org, and call East West Bookshop at 7 o'clock, May 14th. Mm-hmm. I'll also be doing a book talk at Third Place Books in Lake Forest Park on June 18th.
And when is the next Woman of Wisdom event?
We're actually having a drum making workshop at the end of June 29th, and in fall we'll start up with our community connections.
Who's doing the drum working? Who are you making?
Bonnie Witherspoon. Yeah, it's fabulous. That you can see on our website too, June 29th. And we have community connection events every other month. We start up again in September.
All right. Thank you, Chris, for joining us. Women of Wisdom, empowering the dreams and spirit of women. Stay tuned. We've got more Girl Talk coming on. We're going to be talking with Beth Feldman, Peeing in Peace, Tales and Tips for Type A Moms, and Sally Shields, the daughter-in-law rules. We'll be right back with the Dr. Pat Show.